The manifestation myths you need to know about if you're trying to make changes in your life. Hi, I'm Victoria Brennan. I'm a personal development and money mindset coach. And the biggest mistake I see is all of this forcing and pushing that rumbles along in the manifestation space. We are told, fake it till you make it. And believe me, this is probably the thing that is really, truly tripping you up. Please subscribe to this channel. I'm growing here on YouTube. I'd love you to join me on that journey. So today I'm going to delve a little bit more into how this forcing and pushing is actually probably the very thing that is getting in your way. So if you are listening to this, you're probably frustrated. You've probably tried all the things. You've done money mindset, you've done manifestation work, but still you're sat there looking around going, this is rubbish. Where is everything? Okay. And I won't be the first person to try and convince you that you need to continue. Okay. But here is why. Repetition is key. And what we need to really look at is what you are broadcasting. Okay. So what we're often taught in money mindset and manifestation is just think positively. Yeah. Repeat those affirmations. And those affirmations, yeah, you can learn them. Yeah, you can learn them. You can repeat them. You can even get them so they're kind of running along subconsciously. But if then you have a massive emotional response to something around maybe money, we'll take this as money manifestation in this video. You have a massive response around money and you drop into fear and you spiral, then guess what? Guess what you're broadcasting? And that is going to overtake the positive affirmations that you've had. So the biggest mistake I see is people try to manifest without really looking at what's going on for themselves first, to look at their own programming. Okay, this is what is so important. It doesn't mean that you've wasted time. So please, if you've got this far in this video and you're thinking, I don't want to be told what I need to be doing now, I want you to just take a deep breath, just calm. Okay, you will have learnt things that will work, that will help you, that will start implementing. Okay, but what we need to do first is we need to look at your identity, because you can't outperform your identity, and your identity is broadcasting all of the time. It is broadcasting a frequency, and the universe, it doesn't speak a language, it speaks in that frequency, which is why it's so important to look at that default programming you have, because at the moment you have a default programming running. You're trying to do something different up here. You're getting a bit, you're doing all the things, but then you're not getting where you want to go, and you're back down here, if not a little bit lower, and you're frustrated and you don't know why. This is why looking at yourself and this programming is so important. I do a lot of this work with my clients where actually what we need to do is go back to basics, the foundations. Okay, this is so important. It's the bit that does get skipped. So I'm going to talk about this in this video, future videos. Subscribe so you don't miss them. Okay, so your identity was set in your formative years. Okay, it's creating where you are right now. We think about our comfort zone as being just where we're stuck, and it is where we're stuck. But what's also important to notice about the comfort zone is that it's basically everything that is mirrored back to us in our comfort zone is literally what we think we can create, because guess what? We've created it. So the car you drive, the house you live in, the relationships you have, they are all a reflection of your identity. Okay, this doesn't mean that you're unhappy or you need to change them. Okay, but if you are not somewhere in one of these areas of life, it's because it's a reflection of your identity and everything that you believe to be possible for you. Okay, so first question, where are you feeling stuck? Is it around money? I said I'd talk more about money. Is it about money and manifesting more money in your life? Okay, if it is, then we need to have a look at what that programming is. What did you hear growing up around money? So you might have already done this money mindset work. I've done my money stories, Victoria. Yeah, okay, you might have found out which ones you heard growing up, but have you taken the action to reframe these? Have you made that choice that it is no longer going to be your destiny, okay? Because your identity is your destiny. That's what's important. You can write out all the money stories, but if you don't reprogram, you will stay stuck, okay? So if we're staying on this theme of money, your money identity, all the things you heard growing up. People like us don't have money. Money doesn't grow on trees. It's feast or famine when you try to run your own business, okay? And then whatever you've heard, just notice, oh, that's kind of what I've created, okay? So, as I say, we need to look at those stories, we need to reframe those stories, then we need to choose to break that loop that is holding us back, to choose that actually everything is working out for me. But we want to do this in a way that doesn't bypass what we need to learn, okay? And this is often the case. We're trying to bypass actually the things that we need to learn, the things that are really going to help us. Because what I've come to know through my own journey, through my fabulous mentors and coaches, is that reprogramming always shows us something new. So reprogramming, we set to change our outcomes, to change what we can create, to change our identity. And when an old story pipes up again, starts just getting in the way again, that's an opportunity for us to, first off, notice that we're choosing something different now. And second, to see, what am I being shown here? What am I not clearing? Okay, so we do need to do this inner work. We really do, in order to move that frequency, move that broadcast that is coming from you. Because you can be saying all of the affirmations all of the time, but if you don't believe it yourself, that's what the universe is picking up on. It's picking up on the fact that you are trying to mask lack. Okay, so this is the whole question now around, well, how do I move? How do I move from actually, being in lack? How can I move in a way that is aligned for me to feel more positive, to feel these things when my situation is different? And this is all about trust. Okay, this is all about self-trust. Okay, so when I work with clients, we do go very deeply into this inner work, and we really dig into the broadcast that is playing out for them all of the time. And we look at the identity and the patterns and the loops and the pattern interrupts, and we develop strategies for them to change. But if you're listening to this right now and you're thinking, okay, I'm really worried about money. I have no money. I am in fear about money. I'm trying to think positively about money. I'm trying my hardest to whoop whoop and be positive. Okay, that's what everything has taught me in the manifestation space, but I'm not getting the results that I want. How can I, when I genuinely feel rubbish about money, how can I start, having a higher frequency around money? So the bridge across the two is trust. Okay, it is trust, and it is looking at the moment, staying in the moment. It is looking at your relationship around money. So if it's health or something else you're struggling with, then please, look at that relationship. But it's looking at the relationship that you currently have with money. And that's going to help you massively to shift, okay? Because actually there's so much fear. And that fear is something that your nervous system is used to. It kind of will always want to bring you back to worry because it thinks worry is safe for you, which of course you're like, but it isn't. So how can you shift? How can you move? Well, rather than thinking about the things you need to do, I would urge you to start thinking about being more, okay? And again, I can hear you shouting, how can I be rich when I'm not rich? Okay, let's go with money. Those that need it the most have the least, and those that have the most need it the least. Interesting. Okay, so a wealthy person is not spending their waking hours thinking about money. They are just radiating a sense of peace, calm, trust, because they know the money will always come back to them. Okay, so this is kind of what you need to start creating. So we need to look at energy. And the best way that we can shift our energy is to look at gratitude. Now, the universe doesn't as such know that you're radiating desires for money because, as I say, it's speaking in frequency. So money's going to come to a higher frequency. So we want to lift your frequency. So let's look at gratitude. Are you practicing gratitude? That's my first question. Gratitude is a game changer. And if you're thinking, I've got nothing to be grateful for, Victoria, you're watching this video right now on a device, okay? That already makes you an incredibly wealthy person, okay? So be grateful for that. And while you notice, subscribe. And then the other factor is notice what that does to your energy, okay? So it's your energy. Your thoughts create your feelings create your vibration creates your frequency, okay? So if our end game is frequency, then we need to be thinking happy thoughts, grateful thoughts. This doesn't mean you're ignoring a problem, okay? Rather, you're coming into the moment with the problem, your perceived problem. If there's a problem, there is a solution. So take some time to look at what is really worrying you. Give yourself some space. Maybe say to yourself, okay, I recognise that worry is a habit for myself. I'd like to move out of this habit of worry. Probably what's really sensible for me right now is to, rather than spend the whole day worrying, is give myself 20 minutes at the start of the day where I can get all my worried thoughts down on paper. And then I can make a choice. You know, am I okay in this moment? Are you okay right now, right here, right now? Are you okay in this moment? Okay, notice that. Practice your gratitude. Everything is okay. Everything is okay in this moment. And notice what this does for your energy. And don't do this from a way of forcing, okay? Because the universe can sniff force out a mile off, okay? You need to do all of this from a place of love and trust. So gratitude, being in the moment, noticing, are you okay right now? Bring your power back to you. Bring your energy back to you, okay? If you were really empowered right now around your money, what choices would you be making? And this isn't about spending. This isn't about things. This isn't about, well, I'd have a Porsche. You can have a Porsche, of course you can. But what I mean is don't get caught up on the wealth that money manifestation mindset is almost like, you know, act like you're wealthy now. Doesn't mean spending. What it means is act with that peace and that trust now. That's what's going to shift things for you, is that trust. Having the power, showing up in that money relationship. Yeah, most of us have a really bad relationship with money, really bad relationship with it, because we were taught to fear it. We feel our life depends on it. We feel we have to have it. If you were in a relationship with a person and that was running through, that would be really, really unpleasant, okay? So actually, yes, you might have been lent some money by someone and they need that money back, whether it's a bank, whether it's personal, whatever it is. But you can make a choice and think, actually, this wouldn't be playing on the mind as somebody with lots of money or wealth. This wouldn't be playing on the mind as somebody that had the trust that more clients were going to show up in their business. And then you make a choice, and that choice might be to communicate with that person, to explain that right now you need some space and some time, whatever it is. But what we're noticing here is it's not about, I'm going to act rich, I'm going to spend all the money, I'm going to buy all the things, I'm going to max my credit card out. It's about the faith. The frequency is faith. The frequency is trust. The frequency is love. That's what the frequency is. It's love. You have been taught fear, but we want to switch that to love. Just those two emotions. There's fear, there's love. So what are you broadcasting most of the time? Notice that. Bring yourself into the moment. Choose a gratitude practice that will help to shift things for you. And trust, the universe knows. The universe knows what you desire. So rather than pushing and forcing and visualising, push, 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 force, 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 force. All you're doing is pushing and forcing away from you more. Rather show yourself some love. That will be so much more powerful. Show yourself some trust. Show yourself some peace. Because it's these that are going to shift things. I hope this helps. If you've got this far and you would still like some help, I have got a free meditation available. You can access it through the link in my profile. And this is all about the peace, the ease, the trust. Because that pushing and that forcing, that's coming from fear. And we need to switch it to love. Please subscribe. Take good care.